give you a track on that thunderstorm, give you an idea of potentially where it could be right along kind of that leading edge of the thunderstorm. That's where potentially we could have that tornado ongoing right now, right along potentially where Highway 283 and where Interstate 20 intersect near Baird. That's where potentially the tornado is ongoing. It is near Cruz, Texas. It does include the community of Putnam as well. And also the potential for quarter-sized hail with this thunderstorm. It's very close to the radar site. That's this little white area you see in southern Shackelford County. That's giving us a very good low-level view of the thunderstorm. And we are on streaming and Facebook. For those of you who are just now joining us, we have a tornado warning in effect for Callahan County. This red shaded polygon, that's the tornado warning, means that a tornado is imminent over portions of Callahan County. If you live in this area, if you live in places like Baird, Putnam, Admiral, just to the northwest of you towards Atwell, and this does just kind of go up to the border of Eastland County. It doesn't include folks in Eastland County. Still, the tornado warnings for Callahan County, we'll have to see if the National Weather Service chooses to extend that into portions of Eastland and Stevens County. The imminent threat right now is over portions of Callahan County. At this point, it doesn't appear to have been confirmed over by any sort of reports by the National Weather Service. Still though, it's nighttime, and typically nighttime, it takes a while for those reports to come in from the National Weather Service from if there is damage ongoing. It would take a little while for those reports to come in. Still though, if you live in places like Baird, and you can see that red polygon that's flashing on your TV screen right now, that is where you want to be in your safe room, lowest floor away from windows. And we also have watches in effect for portions of the Fox West Texas viewing area. Callahan County is under a severe thunderstorm watch. Still though, you can have tornado warnings in those severe thunderstorm watches, and that just proves the point right now ongoing in Callahan County, where we have that tornado warning in effect. At this point, it appears to be relatively broad rotation. That rotation moving at approximately 45 miles an hour at this point. Want to give y'all a quick timeline of when we can expect this potential rotation to be impacting folks. The green on this radar presentation represents winds going towards the radar, and red is winds going away from the radar. So at this point, we have relatively broad rotation. Kind of the western half of Callahan County, the National Weather Service has removed you from the tornado warning polygon. Now it includes central northeastern portions of Callahan County, includes the city of Baird. You can see that green on the radar, that is winds going towards the radar. So at this point, it is some relatively broad rotation. And you also see that yellow polygon surrounding it. That includes portions of Callahan County, eastern portions of Taylor County, and northern portions of Coleman County. Again, the tornado threat is not imminent over portions of Taylor County. If you're watching us from Abilene right now, not concerned about a tornado for folks in Abilene. It's near Baird. That's where the broad rotation is in progress right now across portions of Callahan County. And it's still in effect for northeastern portions of Callahan County. Weather Service has this broad rotation moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Want to give you a brief idea of potentially when this could be arriving for you with a storm cone. So it's going over a not very well populated area. We still obviously want to be there for you here at Fox West Texas with all those weather impacts going towards Admiral about 2:20 in the morning and should be near Putnam by about 2:34 in the morning. So Admiral Putnam wants you to be in your safe room. That is the lowest floor away from windows. That is the best thing you can do to keep you and your family safe. A lot of folks going to be traveling for the holiday weekend. A lot of folks probably not paying super close attention to the forecast. If you know folks who live in this area, folks who live in the northeastern portions of Callahan County, make sure you give them a phone call. Make sure you tell them to get in their safe room, help keep them and their families safe. New radar data incoming, and you can see the rotation is still relatively weak at this point. That is some encouraging news. Still though, it is strong enough rotation to still warrant that tornado warning across portions of northeastern Callahan County. So folks near Baird, folks south of Moran, far eastern portions of Callahan County, towards Eastland County, wants you to continue to be in that safe room. National Weather Service still has that tornado warning in effect until 12:45 in the morning. The severe thunderstorm's located near Admiral, near Baird, and it's moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. So near Admiral, near Baird, moving to the northeast at 40 miles an hour. We can also look at and gonna ask folks in production, Desmond and Brandon, if y'all are seeing any reports from y'all's end. I want you to feel free to pass those along, anything y'all might see online on social media. And winds inside the thunderstorm, even if it's not producing a tornado at this point, it's still likely producing some very strong winds. And we can sample those winds inside the thunderstorm, likely gusting around 60 miles an hour. So even if the winds inside the thunderstorm are not tornadic winds, those can still certainly have some impacts. And even if it's not producing a tornado at this point, it's always advisable when the tornado warning's in effect. Lowest floor away from windows, that is always the advice to give during a tornado warning, and it's still in effect until 2:45 in the morning. We'll see if radar is picking up on any sort of debris being lofted. That's often with powerful tornadoes. You can occasionally see when a powerful tornado is ongoing, you can often see that debris is being lofted. And right now, there's not any evidence. Right now, there's not any compelling evidence that would make me think that it's currently producing damage. That's not to say that there isn't a tornado ongoing. There is still rotation ongoing. Portions of Callahan County, you can see it's really getting into northeastern portions of Callahan County. It looks like at this point, it's east of Baird, the strongest winds with this thunderstorm. Still though, if you live in the city of Baird, if you live in Callahan County, northeastern portions of Callahan County, if you live northwest of the community of Cross Plains, you still want to be inside that safe room, still want to be putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Taylor, Callahan, and Coleman County, and that is in effect also until 2:45 in the morning. And for portions of Eastland and Stevens County, the National Weather Service is warning that it will impact portions of Eastland and Stevens County in the next 20 to 30 minutes. So if you live in places like Eastland, Breckenridge, Cross Plains, know that this thunderstorm is going to continue to move eastward, potentially impacting you here in the next 20 or 30 minutes. So if you know folks who live in Eastland, live in Breckenridge, make sure you let them know a impactful thunderstorm is moving their way. We'll have to monitor the trends on radar for those next half hour or so. See if it looks like the thunderstorm is strengthening. If the thunderstorm is weakening right now, the thunderstorm's still looking relatively strong, still producing some very heavy rain. If there is a tornado ongoing right now, you won't be able to go outside and look at it, given the fact that it's number one in the middle of the night and also producing some very heavy rainfall. So just want to encourage you again, lowest floor away from windows. That is the safest place you can be during a tornado. I'm going to check our Facebook page, see if there are any sort of updates coming in, any sort of reports of damage. Again, if you live in places like Callahan County, places like Baird, know that the tornado warning is still in effect for the next 20-25 minutes or so. We still want you to continue to be in that safe room. We're streaming right now on all our digital platforms, on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, on Fox West Texas Plus. That's our streaming app. You can watch this live coverage on all those streaming apps. Stream them from that safe room in your house. And we're also live over the air. And a new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for portions of Eastland and Stevens counties. And the National Weather Service saying that's producing 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. It's east of Baird right now, moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. So the National Weather Service in Fort Worth does not look like they're going to extend that tornado warning from Callahan County into Eastland and Stevens counties. Regardless, it's still a powerful thunderstorm. We'll go ahead and continue to monitor this thunderstorm over the air on our website. Give y'all a projection of how quickly these storms are going to move. They're moving northeast at about 60 miles an hour, so they should be near Breckenridge around 2:45 in the morning, by Albany at about 2:20 in the morning, by Eolian at 2:34 in the morning. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that community's name, near Caddo, at just before 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you know folks in these locations, encourage them to be weather aware. There's not a tornado warning at this point for Eastland and Stevens counties. It's a powerful thunderstorm regardless, though, so you still want to take it seriously. Folks in Callahan County, east of Baird, still want you to be in that safe room, as there still is a tornado warning in effect until 2:45 in the morning. And since we are on our streaming platforms, I want to give a quick overview of the entire Fox West Texas viewing area. We have one segment of this kind of broader line of thunderstorms that is currently warned. They just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Eastland and Stevens County, and that tornado warning in effect for Callahan County. About 2,000 people under that tornado warning, so a relatively high population part of the Fox West Texas viewing area under a tornado warning until 2:45 in the morning. That's that flashing red polygon on your screen. It's for kind of the northeastern corner of Callahan County. City of Baird is included in that tornado warning. Winds inside the thunderstorm. At this point, some good news. The winds are looking less impressive than they were even just 10-20 minutes ago. That's certainly some great news. This is a look at the winds inside the thunderstorm, some broad rotation. The green represents wind going towards the radar. The red represents wind going away from the radar. And with that, the National Weather Service in San Angelo has allowed that tornado warning to expire. That's certainly some good news. It means that they're no longer convinced by that radar presentation of an imminent tornado threat. Still, though, we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Eastland, Stevens, and Young County. We'll be able to end over the air in just a second. I do want to give one last quick little update. That severe thunderstorm warning for Eastland, Palo Pinto, Stevens, and Young counties going to be in effect until 3:15 in the morning Saturday. Moving off to the east-northeast, still producing some 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Hopefully all the folks in Callahan County are safe. The National Weather Service is going to conduct a damage survey, and we will continue to keep an eye on that chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. And Desmond, before we end this live stream, I do want to give folks a last check of those watches in effect, the severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Tom Green, Taylor counties, a big portion of the Concho Valley and the Big Country, with a tornado watch in effect for northeastern portions of our viewing area. That goes into effect until 4 a.m. Stevens County and Shackelford County both included in that tornado watch. So again, I want you to continue to keep your eyes on the forecast. I'm going to be here continuing to keep an eye on any impactful storms. But we do have one severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now for Callahan, Eastland, and Stevens County in the Fox West Texas viewing area. One last check of the radar, and that's moving off to the east-northeast and eventually going to move into the Dallas-Fort Worth television market. Callahan County still under a severe thunderstorm warning until 2:45 in the morning. But with the tornado warning being canceled, we will go ahead and end this live update. Thank you for tuning in with us. Thank you for trusting us with your weather information. And for now, we'll send it back to regularly scheduled programming.